All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DC Fine Art. I'm just trying to get everything organized as the best that I possibly can for you guys. So I am super excited. We'll be working on a mixed media piece. It's been one of those days. And then also on this live stream, if any of you guys are new, I like to go over some of the things that what's going on Patreon, kind of go over some other things maybe that's new or that's coming up or what I've been working for or working on for Patreon. So I like to kind of go over a couple of things before I actually jump into the painting. So for Patreon, I am working on a kind of like I want to say spring slash Easter kind of feel. I don't know if it's more Easter, except that it does have a duck in it, but it's more of like a spring-like painting, and it is another acrylic painting, so we're going to have another one in there. I've been on a roll with my acrylic paintings and having so much fun. But if you guys want to see what your guys are going to end up with for part 1 of the acrylic painting, I've got it right here to kind of show you guys. So we are working on a lemon. Looks really bright in that little light there. But we are doing a lemon. As you can see, I haven't quite finished the little tree limb that it's on. I think I can't even point. And there's also going to be a leaf in here. Of course, we're not going to go on to the little bow or the duckling in this video or part 1, but we are going to have the lemon and the little leaf along with the little limb. That will be done for Patreon for part 1 for you guys if you want to see that. I think on the Patreon levels, if you guys want to see all the videos that I have on Patreon, and that's just for the videos, I do believe it starts out at like $1.99, and that just gets you access to all of my videos that I put on Patreon. After that, then it goes up to the next level, which not only do you get all the videos on Patreon, but you also get something sent by me, like a little gift sent by me, or maybe little art tips, like sending little samples, or I've done different things, like throwing in a bookmark. It used to be postcards each month. So I've been kind of changing it up and just kind of doing something random. And just to let all my Patreons know, I am a little bit late because of the whole fire situation that we had at the house last week. So I am a little bit late on getting your guys's little monthly gift thingy that I usually do. So running behind, but you also get access to all the coloring pages that I download on there or reference photos that I download. And I know I haven't been downloading reference photos each month like I've been doing, but instead I'm just kind of doing them whenever I can. So that's why you guys have access to not only the reference photos, but also to the coloring pages too. So I'm just opened it up for everybody. Anything higher than the second tier, basically it's just going to be the same thing all the way around, except that I might give you for your gift each month something a little bit bigger. So, but that's the only difference. And any of the Patreon stuff that you guys do for me, oh my gosh, it helps out so much with being able to purchase more art supplies and just kind of bring it back to the channel and bring it to you guys too, so I can continue doing the lessons. So anyways, that's what's new on Patreon. If you're wanting to be a free member, I do have that over there. Each month you will get like, for each month I have like a theme of the month that I usually do. And so I'll give you all kinds of ideas that you can come up with, like doing for that month, along with any of the line drawings that I come out with for each live stream. So I started doing the line drawings for you guys. So if you need help with that, that will be over on my Patreon free member. So you don't have to actually pay. You can do a free member to get those things or to get little tips. So anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I will have another video for you guys, probably released tomorrow, and it'll be for you guys on YouTube. So that'll be me creating something using those aqua drops that I did, or that I got. And that's actually going to be replacing our Powerful Pack box also. So I'm trying to see if I can do, instead of doing the Powerful Pack Box each month, I'm going to start trying to find some new products out there that maybe I haven't seen before and just kind of trying them out. I think that's a whole lot more fun. And plus that, I'm kind of getting products that I can actually use. So like fast products that I like to use. So that's why I figured it might be a good thing. So enough of the chit chat. Let me put this somewhere where if my puppy comes into the art room, he is not gonna like chew on it. I don't know. Probably he never really goes right here, but I guess if he does manage to come in there, I just got to remember that it's there. All right, so let me turn this around for you guys. Hopefully you guys have had a good week. Mine has been lively. All right. All right, so here is the canvas board that I'm working on. It is going to be a 9x12, and as you can see, I got my line drawing here that I went ahead and made, and I did not transfer it out. Usually I have it transferred before starting, but in this case, I want to do it a little bit differently. So here is the Fredrex watercolor canvas board 9x12. That's what I got for this. So I wanted to show you guys. Plus that, any of my products that I'm using, like the canvas board, the acrylic inks, along with the Liquitex basics or anything like that you guys are curious on what I use, I will have that linked in the description below underneath Amazon affiliates. And yeah, if you guys want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. So the only reason why I haven't done this is because I am wanting to airbrush. And I've never done this before. So this is my first time. I always wanted to, and I just never really did. But I never stuck like these Liquitex acrylic inks inside my airbrush. And I was wanting to do like a mixed media using the acrylic inks for like the background. And then after I do the background, then go on top of it with acrylic paint. So it's going to be a mixed media. And if you guys do not have an airbrush and your guys are still like, well, I don't have an airbrush, how am I supposed to get my my background? You don't have to have one if you don't, you don't have to have one. If you're wanting to paint this all with our acrylic paint for the background, you can go ahead and do that. Choose whatever colors you want, or you can be similar to what I'm doing and choose the colors that I'm doing too. So you could do that also. But yeah, or if you don't have acrylic inks, or if you do have acrylic inks, maybe you can do some splashes and do some different, kind of like wet it down a little. I would probably wet down the canvas board if I was doing it without an airbrush. I would pre-wet it, and then I would like do some splashes and swirls and get it looking really pretty. And just do something really out there. I mean, it's always fun to have fun with your artwork. Just do something, get it out there. Okay, so with me, I'm going to choose this airbrushing. Don't know what it's going to be like. Hopefully it's going to be nice and smooth. That's what I'm thinking. So we are going to use the deep violet is what I've got. I've got titanium white. And yeah, I got carbon black. I have to be very, very careful with the carbon black. I don't want to go too dark to where it just looks black. You know, I definitely want it purple. But I'm hoping it'll make my purple a little bit darker. So basically when I airbrush this, I'm going to go from, I actually probably want to turn this, there's some spotting on my canvas and I don't know how that happened, but I'm pretty sure it'll cover it. But I want to go from light purple and then start transitioning up to the deep violet color and then going up to a darker purple up at the top. I mean, even if I get close, I just don't want it being black. So I don't want to go that far with it. So that's my idea for the background for the little lilies. I think they're like little flower lilies. They're really, really cute. I'm hoping my airbrush, since I used it, is not going to be clogged up. I should have checked that beforehand, but I was working on your guys' video for tomorrow. So, yep. I mean, I seriously was still working on that almost an hour before we started the live, or before we started. Oh, there's still like yellow in there. It's probably not the way you're supposed to do it. You probably don't want to use your hand. That's the reason why my hands are probably so bad. I guarantee it. I probably have viewers on here like, oh my God, her hands are so dry. Yeah. If you saw the way I handle all my art products, you probably would be like, oh, makes sense. Plus that, I got on my black shirt. This is the sweatshirt I use for painting because I really don't care if it gets totally inked up or, you know, stained. I mean, I got stains all over these jeans. They're clean. But if I stand up and walk around, it looks like I'm just filthy. But I wear these jeans all the time when I paint, and whenever I paint with like paint, I'll stick this sweater on. I had a different one, or at least airbrush. I had a different one on, and yeah, I changed it out real quick whenever I thought I'm working with ink, and it's permanent ink. So here's what I'm gonna do. I got my airbrush set up, air's coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and grab me a pencil and just kind of give me an idea too. That way I kind of know what shades, because if you don't do this and you're like doing your painting, stay. Okay. Yeah, let's go down to like right here. Aw, my daughter just brought me a flower. How sweet. Okay. And we want to make sure, well, as long as we can go across here, we should be fine. That's the lowest point, but then the other lowest point is like right near. So I'm going to say like right there. Let me see. Yeah, that definitely covers this area here. We're going to have an area right there. Yeah, we should be fine. And the reason why I'm marking this on either side here, it's just to let me know, you know, you would hate to do your whole painting with an airbrush. And is that a water soluble pencil I just used? I think it is. No, it's a drafting pencil. Huh. Probably one for the Powerful Pack box. But the reason why I put marks on these is so when you're airbrushing or you're doing your background painting and you don't have your transfer actually on there to see, then you'll know that if you, let's just say if I started out here with a lighter purple and then I transitioned out to a mid purple and then went up mid purple to a darker purple, then whenever I put my painting in, it could end up being only like a centimeter of the light purple and then going into the mid-toned purple. So you would be missing out on a big chunk of your light purple that you were wanting it to show up. And here you didn't know, but you covered it up with your painting. So that's why I marked it, so that way I can make sure to get a lot more of my lighter purple and then start transitioning out to my midtones. I definitely want my lighter purple to show. So here we go. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and get these open. Hopefully I do not make a mess and spill anything. Oh my goodness. I'm usually full of it. Like I'll end up spilling it or doing something. I hope not. Especially permanent ink. So I'm going to take my little dropper. I'm going to fill it up with the white first. And then I'm going to put just like maybe one. Ooh, there's like bubbles, but I didn't get anything. Hold on. 1, 2. We're going to do 3 drops. I'm going to add a little bit more white. We're doing a whole squeegee full of white. And usually whenever I try and mix things up, I do it the weird way. I just kind of, you know, shake it, or not really shake it, but I kind of swirl it in there. I'm hoping this is thin enough. If it's not thin enough, probably add some water to it, but it looks pretty thin. That is really a pretty color, but I really want to go a little bit lighter, so I'm going to add a little bit more white. Ooh, there we go. And just because I'm mixing it inside the canister doesn't mean it's mixing it in the bottom, so it may come out white first. Let's go ahead and put this lid on it. It's always important to put this lid on it if you don't have an airbrush, because you know how many times I forgot to put the lid on it and I literally tipped it over and sprayed poured paint on me. Now I do have my airbrush kind of opened up the valve just a little bit more because I like doing backgrounds and I like getting a lot of coverage. Now you can either go all the way back and forth like this and go completely off your canvas. That's to make a nice smooth transition in color. But for me, I like to really make some like splotches in there, like little, like kind of like a bokeh look or a bouquet look. It's just like some areas are a little darker, and all I'm doing is just kind of pulling the trigger on and off, on and off. That way there's some light, and I'm kind of doing like a figure 8 kind of thing. Yeah, it looks like it's going pretty good. It actually looks really pretty. All right, so that is through. I really want to add a little bit more white to this. It looks like it came out a little bit darker than what I was wanting, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in some just white. Okay, that came out pretty quick. I'm probably going to have, you know, in the moment I put on nails, it's like I painted with yellow today, and then, I don't know, I'm going to have like, my nails are going to be botched, I guess, after this. I want to put some white back in there. Now some of it's going to be covered up. I definitely lightened it quite a bit there. I'm just going straight across. I was just going back and forth just to kind of give it a little bit more of a lightning transition. So now I want to go ahead and add in just pure deep, I think it's deep, isn't it deep violet? Yeah, deep violet. Now there may be some white mixed in with this. I really want to see. Oh, it'll still come out really pretty though. Okay. I just put a little bit in there, probably just like a few drops. So I didn't fill it up or anything because this stuff seems to go quite a long ways. Well, I lied. Maybe I should have put a little bit more in. Do a little bit more because I'm not through with this yet. Oh, please don't drip on me. Put my lid on. Okay. I'm going to do a full dropper. And I'm actually going to do another full dropper. We'll probably do like 3 full droppers of the deep violet. I want to come back in and get some of this here. That looks really pretty. Okay, so we got a really nice transition here. So what I want to do is put in, here we go. Got to go really easy on this one, but we got carbon black. Yeah, we're going to put like 1 drop. That's it. Like seriously, just 1 drop. If you need to put in more, I can't even get it out. Hold on. This is dangerous. If you need more, then you can add maybe 1 more drop to it, but it's best to start out with just 1 because it is really, really dark. Oh, 1 drop. And I'm just going to kind of mix it on in here. It looks darker. Doesn't look as dark as what I'm wanting, but we're going to use it anyway because I really want to transition a little bit through here. Oops. Let me use my napkin. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit like darker, but it's not going to be super dark yet. Okay. Ooh, I had my lid on. That was almost an accident. I almost didn't take the canister lid off of my airbrush. So I almost like squirted a whole bunch of drops in like on the lid, which would have rolled off on me. Yep, that almost happened. So I'm taking about 3 full droppers here. And I definitely have my airbrush turned up. I know I do. We're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 4 drops of the carbon black. I may need to add some more because I definitely want it dark, like super dark. Still not dark enough yet. 1, 2, 3. So that's 6 drops total. I'm always so messy with my acrylic paints that I'm seriously scared of this. Like I'm really gonna make myself a big old mess on me. All right, it's super dark. Okay, here we go. So that looks pretty good, and it does have a little bit of a shine to it, and I think it's just the angle of it and it being wet that kind of gives it a little bit of a shine. I really want to go darker. Maybe. Yeah, just on the edges. Let's take this a little further down. Okay. We might end up lightening up some of that like bottom area, like taking it down, like lightening it up a little bit, but Okay, so we're gonna go a little bit darker just on the tippy top. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So now what I want to do is just kind of rinse this out. I'm probably going to put some water in here. That way I can run it through my little canister right here and clean it out. I had some acrylic paint like blocking my airbrush on the very tip of it, and I think I didn't get it cleaned all the way out. All right. So now I want to go in here, and the reason why I was cleaning it out is so that way I can add a lighter tone to this again, like the purple, but just add a lighter shade of it. So what we're going to do is more white and maybe just like one drop of purple. No. May need more white. I don't know where I use my white at, but it seems like, oops, that went somewhere. But it's like running low. And I'm not quite for sure why I'm running low. Okay. Now the only thing with this is that when you do that, you will create a little bit of the white kind of sprinkling up into this. So what I'm going to do is do just pure deep violet. And just kind of go back in here. I think that'll be good. So this is my background. And it's using the Liquitex Basics, or not Liquitex Basics, but the Liquitex acrylic inks is what I used. I'm going to go ahead and clean this out. Just using my little airbrush thingy here. I ran water through it once, but then after that, I'm going to go ahead and use my Liquitex Colors airbrush cleaner, and then I'll run it through with this. I didn't want to run it through when I'm actually painting. I don't know if running this through, I don't know. I usually like to clean it out with water, like in between my colors, but especially for inks or like watercolor. But I use this for cleaning like when I'm done with it for the day. It's like an alcohol is what it is. And also while I'm cleaning this out, if anybody could leave a like on this video, that would definitely help the channel. And leave a comment, share, or any of those things definitely helps this channel grow. So if you could help out and do that. We are getting super close to 1,000 subscribers, which is super excited. I need to do something fun for you guys. We need to do a giveaway or something. So do a little giveaway or have something fun. There's still stuff in here. Let's do one more. And let me take this and just kind of wipe this out. I definitely don't want the ink just sitting in my airbrush. So this should be the last time. It really cleans out really easily. At least it cleans out better and more easily, like easier than acrylic paints by far. I think I am happy with that. So this is nicely cleaned out. Let me put my lid on it and let's get rid of these acrylics or these inks because I am done. And I'm going to go ahead and unplug that. Oops. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I usually like to string it over this. That way any moisture that's in your tube, if you get a lot of moisture like the water coming through your tube when you're airbrushing, you could have liquid or the water vapes that get stuck inside your tube. So I usually like to hang my tube like upside down to where it can either go out one way or another, like drain and clean out. Barbara, hi. Your hair looks amazing. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad it turned out. I mean, I actually dyed it myself on the same day that we had the electrical fire. And then my husband was like saying, oh, you're probably the one who used the hairdryer and started the fire. I'm like, it wasn't me. I was like, it couldn't have been me. And then I said, maybe it's your crock pot. Maybe you cooking a roast started it. So we were going back and forth. Come to find out, it was like a wiring that led to the water heater that grounded on another wire that lit part of the beams on fire, like in between the walls, like on fire in the utility room. It was crazy. So, yeah, I did my hair, colored it then, and then yesterday I cut it. And I did like that. You know how they always see it was, oh, it wasn't you. No. Yeah, no, it couldn't have been me. Not me. But that made me look, if I said that, I'll look guilty as heck, and it wasn't me. But I actually cut my hair yesterday, and I did the butterfly cut. You know how they do the little unicorn, like they tie their hair in a unicorn like this, and then you tie your hair like that, and then you cut it. Yeah, I so did that, and it actually turned out really nice. Like, I'm super happy. So yeah. Okay, I want to make sure this is dry, and it's not. You know, maybe it's not. Could it be? I don't know. I touched stuff with my hands. Like it dark. That's my normal color, and I can't get my hairdresser to make it dark. Oh, yeah. That's the way my hair is normally too. It's like really dark. I dyed it chestnut is what it was called, and it came out a lot darker, but I was like, yeah, it's kind of like my natural anyway. So I kind of go back and forth between highlights and dark and back to highlights or dark. It's either one or the other. I haven't went anything else. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then I ended up showing my daughter, and then she ended up letting me cut hers because I did mine, and she got hers cut in a butterfly cut right after me. She loves it though. She's like, "Oh, I like it." She goes, "You didn't look like you cut much off." I said 5 inches. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry this. Hopefully it's not too loud. I do not have the little mute thingy, I don't think. Actually, I do. Let me mute this real quick so you guys don't hurt your ears. I'm gonna make sure that this is completely dry before I transfer the flowers. So let's see here. How do I do this? All right, I am back. My son did his voice here like that, and it came out nice. Oh, awesome. Yeah, a beginner one. Like this one here was because I wanted an airbrush really bad too, and my husband ended up getting me this one. It's a Grex, and he got it off of Amazon for like, I think it was like for. Actually, no, he didn't do that. That was too long. That was me. I ended up getting that one for myself for Christmas. I was like, hold on one second. Okay, so it's been a while, but actually I got this one off of Amazon. It was Grex, and it's a TR. I do think I have it listed below in the description for it, but if you're not wanting to go that high on them, I think they do offer some other ones that are a little bit like, more reasonably priced, like a little bit lower on price range. Um, but I don't think it's really going to matter because, I mean, too much. I mean, like this airbrush here, you can do like a whole painting with an airbrush, right? But if you're wanting to use it for like a background for a painting, I'm pretty sure you can get away with doing one of the other ones too. So, because I mean, all we're doing is backgrounds or like a bouquet kind of look, or just doing some sort of design for the background and not getting into like real detail. It makes it super nice because the duck that we're doing, the lemon, trying to make sure I don't have purple ink on me, but I want to show you this. So like this one here on the airbrush, not only was I able to do like the leaves and the orange or like the background because I wanted it more like springtime, but I went ahead and did like a white with a little bit of yellow in and around this duck, and it made it look like he's glowing. I also did a little bit around the lemon before I actually painted it, and it looks like the lemon is like glowing in the sunlight. So he's like the magical lemon. I don't know. He's a little duck. He's cute. It's like a little lemon. He's a little lemon, but he's adorable. So yeah, you can do stuff like that, and it just enhances your paintings a whole lot more. Yeah. There is other ones. I just don't know what they're called, but they do have them on Amazon, and some like little ones. They're like little minis, and I don't know what the price is on those. I wouldn't be able to even give you a price on those, but I would definitely check into some of the cheaper ones if you could find them on Amazon, just to do a background or one of the bokeh looks or bouquet looks. I don't know if it's bokeh or bouquet. I always say I know how it's spelled. It's just pronunciation sucks with me. So, yeah, that was a Christmas gift to myself, and I almost got it ruined. I won't take a look. Thanks. Yeah, definitely. It's worth it. It's definitely a lot of fun. You'll be spray painting everything. You'll be like, oh, I'll only pick it up once, but then you'll like look around and you'll see something and be like, little imagination goes like, zzz. Like, oh, don't worry. My bread box is now this color. I have painted my bread box before, so that's why I mentioned that. It was actually a really cheap bread box from Walmart, and I ended up painting it. And then I went and turned around and sold it at my yard sale, priced it for a little higher, and it actually sold. Somebody who bought it was super excited too. And I'm like, wow. And that was a long time ago. I think that was back before, I don't know, my son could have been like 1 year old. So it would have been 19 years ago. This was a while ago. And I was like thinking, wow, somebody bought my painting. Wonder why. I painted all kinds of little things around the house, but I wasn't expecting it. All right, so let's go ahead and get our painting transferred. Our drawing transferred, our painting transferred. I don't know how to talk today. Okay, let's get this on here. I'm just going to tape the top corners. I'm going to kind of get it lined up the best of my ability here. Yeah, I think that'll work. I always keep tape on the end of my desk, and my puppy dog sees it and he's like sniffs at it like, I'm going to take your tape. And I'm like, no, don't take my tape. I like my tape there. And I'm going to use probably not my dark transfer paper, but I probably would rather use like a white one. And I got facing up because you can never tell. So I have to put that down because otherwise I just pick it up and I'm like, which side? And yeah, you can test it out, but I'm going to do half of it white. And then whenever I get down to probably right around in here in this area, then I'm going to go and switch over to like a darker transfer paper so that way I can kind of see. I'm actually going to probably turn this sideways because it's just the top. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this. I do it better whenever I lay it on lay it on a flat surface. And I'm just going to use like one of these little styluses to do it. You can use a color pencil. You can hear him. He's seen something. Oops. You can use a color pencil too. I used to always like using a color pencil so that way I could kind of see where I was at in like transferring. But then I got to where I was like, you know, I'm just gonna use my stylus instead. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Let's start there. Really just want some of these areas where it's dark and you can't see. And I don't need it perfect neither. We just need an idea of where everything's at. Doesn't mean that if you make the line a little squiggly or maybe it's not exactly straight, you still got the idea of where things are at in your painting to make the adjustments that you need. And that's why it's good to have a drawing transferred. I used to think a long time ago that, you know, I never wanted to transfer. I didn't want to trace and transfer. I just wanted to straight out draw it on the canvas, paint, and then go from there. And it just made it really messy because I had so many eraser line marks all over my canvas. Sometimes the eraser didn't do that great of a job and I couldn't tell what line I was wanting to go with. And then I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and draw it and trace it. Like trace it, draw it, trace it, and transfer it. So much easier. Made my life so much easier. And that's what I like. I like it just a little bit easier. Okay, I don't think I need that. I don't think it's that dark there neither. So let me go ahead and take a look. So we can see like our flowers kind of coming in, and it kind of disappears there on the bottom, and that's just because it is really super light. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take my carbon paper here and going to lay it right around in here. And then I should be able to see everything. I did trace that out before. You couldn't see nothing. Just to kind of give me an idea where everything's at. I'll have to move this down. I may be going over this little flower just a little bit more because it was really super light in this area. Oop. Don't want my flower stem being that small. I'd be like, wait just a second. That looks a little funny. Okay, and let's do this. Okay, and then I'll just run this down. I want to move it just a hair bit more down and just kind of finish this off. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want lines to be able to show me where things start and stop. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, so we got our drawing in there, and looks like I can see pretty much everything there. Yeah. All right, so it looks good to me. So I think we are good. Let's go ahead and get rid of the stylus, and let's go ahead and get to painting. Take my tape off. And you always want to keep this just in case if you cover up a line, or maybe you're for sure, or you can't tell where something's at, and maybe you might need to go ahead and redo it. You can always line up your transfer paper back up to your painting just to kind of get an idea where something is. So that has happened before and definitely comes in handy. All right, so let's go ahead. I want to make my flowers a little bit bigger. I've got my tablet out and I'm able to see the flowers that I will be painting. So we want to go ahead and take out our paint. I got a whole bunch of brushes here. Probably don't need all of them. And then I got some like smaller little brushes here. You guys like that? My daughter made it in her pottery class. I thought it was so stinking cute. I love the like teal kind of color and the oranges. She said it was supposed to be red. It turned out orange, or it's supposed to be pink. and then turned out orange. And, but anyways, it is super cute. And so I made it my little like brush holder that I just set over in the corner of my easel. And I just think it's adorable. I'm like, I'll use it. All right, you guys are looking down at the canvas, right? Or the palette, hopefully. Okay, so let's go ahead and take out our greens. I think I've already got greens out here. So I like using the Hooker's Green Hue Permanent. And we can take some, I mean, it doesn't really have a really light green in that. I mean, a little bit, but nothing that I can't mix up with white. Or if you're wanting it a little bit darker, you can also mix some red up in it. I want some darker red though. How dark do I need to go? No, not too dark. Well, maybe. We'll do it anyway. Azalea Crimson Hue, or I just want a deep red. No. Nathaniel Crimson. Maybe that's what I got. Maybe we'll just take that. I thought I had a deep red. Oh, the cadmium deep red hue. There it is. I want that one. Okay, so I will mix my reds with my greens to kind of take it down a little bit. If I need it darker, then I'll take it down darker if I need to. I got my titanium white that I'll be using with my greens just to kind of give it that look of kind of a more of a, it's got white mixed in with that green, definitely for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with those colors. I don't want to use yellows. It doesn't look like there's any yellows. There's no yellows in my painting. I got a more of a purple background. So if I wanted to add like maybe even purple into the leaves, like for a shadow, I mean, if the red's not going to do it, maybe I'll toss in a little bit of my Payne's Gray, which has a little bit of a bluish tint. Might turn it a little bit purple, kind of like a darker color in there. That's fine because I've got purples. And, or we could just use plain old purple mix in there. So now we need to get our reds or our pinks for the flowers. So Nathaniel Crimson, I like that color to mix in with our white, so we can actually mix those two together to make a pink. Or we can even, I do have some other pinks that are already mixed up in a tube. Let's see, or I don't know, but yeah, maybe. We got some rose pink. That might be good. And I thought I had a different type of pink in here. Like, I forgot what it was called. Here it is. This light pink. I should have known that. Something as simple as that. And I'm like, I don't know what it's called, light pink. I had this light pink. All right, so just gonna use those. I don't think we really need to go any darker unless I can adjust it, how much white I put in the red to kind of tone it up or down. So really, I'm thinking that's all we really need, unless we use like some of the Payne's Gray, or like throwing in a purple, like dioxide purple in with our green if we wanted to do that and go that dark. But let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to have to go ahead and make this super, super bright. We're going to go ahead and start with a flower, of course. So this flower here, see how dark we got this up on top that you're just like, oh my God, it's super, super dark. Can't really see it too well. Well, we're going to have to fix that. And you know how to fix it? I think some of you guys have probably got a good idea maybe on how we fix it. Because, I mean, we could go over it with our pink, but most likely we're going to have to use quite a bit of layers with the Liquitex Basics to cover that dark purple showing through. So what I want to do first is I want to go ahead and paint this in white, or at least the top. I'm going to do the top portion as white. Where is my fine mist sprayer? I'll spray that. I'll do a fine mist over the top of the little lily. It's a really pretty lily. And basically where we're going to have it more of a white, so that way we're just basically starting out with a fresh new canvas. Ooh, notice something. This is the first time, like I said, using the inks as a background. And these are supposed to be permanent inks. You know, I have had this happen before, and I thought it was really weird, but I'm really thinking it might be the canvas that might be doing this and having this issue, because these inks are permanent, but yet I'm reactivating the purple after I went ahead and dried it, transfer it. You can touch it, it's dry, but it's like when it gets wet, it wants to reactivate, which is really weird. So that's another good thing on why we need to put a fresh coat of paint down first, because just think if I was working with the pink or wanting it white and I went ahead and painted this and the pink or the purple started showing through, I mean, we would have an issue. But by me coating it with its first layer of white, over this, we may be able to seal it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and run my hairdryer on that. So I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys. No ears hurting tonight. And so, you know, I was working with this before, and I've had these canvases. I actually heard of people working with these canvases and worked with our acrylic paintings and absolutely love them for our acrylic paintings. But I've noticed a difference whenever you're working with these Fredrex watercolor canvas boards compared to working on an actual canvas that's meant for our acrylic paints, that these do like to absorb a lot. Like, it retains water. And even though you're spraying on this, just to kind of give it a little bit of a damp to where when you work on it, you're not dry brushing, you're actually working with a damp surface, which makes your paintbrush glide across it a whole lot easier to make a nice, nice straight fine line with no dry brushing. But it likes to pull moisture, and if it does that, because it's probably made of like a cotton, then even though it's a smooth surface, it is a smooth surface, but it may be entrapping. That's the reason why I can go through the ink so quickly too, is if I were doing it on a canvas, I probably wouldn't have to use as much ink as I did with this here. This board did take up quite a bit of ink, and to be able to get the coverage in the right amount. because it absorbed it. It was like suction it like a sponge. And then whenever I spray on top of it with my fine mister, or I'm going over it with something wet, there's still a lot of ink that's trapped in there that actually kind of, I guess, becomes more liquid. Like it was, you could still rework it, which is really weird. But now that I went ahead and went over that, I'm going to give it another coat because I definitely don't want that shining through. I'm just going to wet my paint, probably more than my canvas here this time. It should dry pretty quick though, because the canvas is a little bit warm still. The good thing is that if there is a little bit of purple kind of showing through, I mean, with what I am working with, a reflection of white is probably going to have a little bit of a purple tint to it. So I am not too afraid of having just a little bit of purple. I just don't want too much. Okay. I'm going to leave those outside edges. Should be, well, it'll bug me. Probably better not. Oh my goodness. I'm probably going to have like ticks crawling around on my desk. My daughter, you guys are probably like, what? Did she just say she's going to have like ticks crawling around on her desk? Yeah, I did say that. My daughter just got through giving me a whole bunch of flowers, which is really sweet. Hold on. Yeah. Look what I got. She gave me, and I'm actually painting, I'm gonna, look. She went out in the yard and picked me some flowers. Here's this one. This is really cute. Oh my God, it matches. Oh, look at that. It's cute. Hold on, let's do a better one. There we go. I think we did that in our last video, almost like those kind of flowers, except I took away the purple. But yeah, she picked me a whole bunch of flowers. Okay, let's go ahead and blow dry this real quick, get that done, and then we'll do it again. I probably won't work over 2 layers of white on this. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with it. So let's go ahead and blow dry this real quick and get started so we can get this done. All right, I am back. All right, let's just get to painting. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in, we are doing some pinks. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and take this one out. This is a rose pink. And then I need a little bit darker. Let's see here. Yeah, it has to be just a little bit darker. So I'm gonna take some of my deep red here and I'll end up making a little bit of it, just a little bit darker. Probably don't need a lot of red neither. Okay, give it a good spritz. Make sure my brush is cleaned off. I really don't want to use a round brush too. I think that would just be, you would make these little bitty lines on it. That's not good. Maybe a filbert. I'm going to use like a number 10 filbert. That should be good. If I need to go a little bit smaller of a filbert, I can do that. But I love filberts. It just makes the brush strokes a lot cleaner, a lot smoother. Yep, filbert's been through a lot. Actually, we could just use this same color. Let me go ahead and take out this rose pink. I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. A little bit more. Make it a little bit lighter. Okay, and then we're going to come in here and we are going to go over this. think it's spread around here on the edges. It's all just like more of a lighter pink. Okay, so then once I do that, I want to go with a little bit darker of the color. So I'm going to take that rose pink that we already have here, and I'm going to take a little dot of red and mix it up and try and get a little bit darker. Now it's going to be close, it's not going to be exact. You know, a little bit more red. I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice little spritz. Probably going to reactivate the purple. Let me try going over that. See, if we went over it without putting the white, it's just not as bright as that. I'm going to go ahead and give it another spritz. I want to take some white, more white, and some of the light pink, or at least the rose pink and the white mixture. I'm just going to mix a little bit more white in it. And we are going to try and put some little streaks kind of in there. Okay. Now what I want to do is make sure that this is still kind of damp. Oops, oops, oops. Geez, it's like triple knockout camera function. That was like a chain event of all kinds of chaos going on. All right, and I'm going to take my filbert. I'm going to dampen it just a little bit, dry it off on a paper towel, and it's just like a regular, I always call it my fluffy filbert. And we're going to just take, looks like it dried already. Come on. I'm going to take and just kind of soften out some of those edges. Probably going to reactivate the purple somewhere. There. Oh, I need to stop putting my little bottle over there. Like, did not mean to do that to you guys. So now that we got that little area in there, hopefully you guys can see that. It's kind of really in a distance. Maybe I should scoot the camera up a little bit closer. I mean, surely I'm not gonna, oops. Hello. I need some extra cord to do that. Oh, it's stuck on tape because I'm like the tape queen over here. Why is this camera not like super tight? Hold on one second. It's stuck on my airbrush. Maybe a little bit better for you guys. Ooh. I was hoping you guys would see that a little bit better what I'm seeing. but it's like coming out really, really super white, like really, really light. I'm actually working a whole lot darker than what you guys see, which is a little bit frustrating. So I'm going to take this red, I'm going to take a little bit of white, mix it in there. So I'm just wanting it a little bit more like on the reddish side of the spectrum here. And then as far as the white or pink, so just a really dark, I want a really dark pink. Just kind of go around some of these edges here. Just a little bit. I don't want a whole bunch, just a little. Okay. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Let's take my little filbert here. And I want to just soften out some of those edges. That looks good. Okay. All right, and then this here looks just a little bit, I want to kind of darken that a little bit. Let's go in here with just a little bit more of a pinker kind of tone in the center. If it's not near enough, let's throw in some red. Kind of loop that around. And I want to take that all the way to this edge here. I'm not really minding if I go over just a little bit, that's fine. I want to come up and around. Let's use some of that darker tone. I really need to kind of pull these colors in a shape like this. Okay. That way it kind of looks like they're kind of going into a funnel here. Okay, I'm going to take some of my lighter pink, like really light pink. I may have to, hopefully I got it. I'm going to follow this edge all the way around. It's almost a white. There. It's really reflecting. But I definitely want to show you guys how I did that. So it definitely looks, it is really shiny, isn't it? Wow. Hold on. Trying to go darker, maybe it might be able to show up. It is like super shiny. But yeah, that nowhere looks anything. It's like, I guess you can kind of see the concept. This is a whole lot darker than what you guys are seeing, but we got this kind of like shape kind of going down into the center of like this is kind of hollowed out. And this here is kind of bowed, so it's going to be a little bit lighter on the transition. We could even take even a lighter kind of color and just kind of go in here and just kind of do the edge like that. Now I may want to switch over to my smaller round brush just so that way I can get this white. In here on this little bitty corner piece here. I'm going to go in with a filbert, probably not as big. Maybe we'll do a number 7. I'm going to go ahead and take my white, and we are going to fill in the rest of this. And you know, just in case we don't get done, what time is it? 8:18. I mean, we've still got time, but sometimes I do kind of go a little bit slower, and that's just because I work slower. I work slower with everything, pretty much everything, even with cooking. I probably, you know, I could tell you guys some stories if you guys don't mind. You see it? Okay, good. I was really hoping you guys would see that. But I have a story, and it is so funny. I volunteered, this is a long time ago. I was probably, how old is my daughter? My daughter is 13, so it was probably like 14 years ago. Yeah. And my brother used to volunteer for 4th of July for the like little carnival that they would have, and they would have like, and it's at the park, and so they would have the carnival come in, but then they would have a big fireworks show. They would have games and prizes that the park would actually do, like where I'm from. Where I was born from was actually from Rolla, Missouri, which just got hit by a tornado the day before. My house almost burnt down. So a lot of things crazy. But they had a, like for 4th of July, they would have like a carnival come in, and you could volunteer with the Rolla Lions Club to be able to do like their concession, and you could help out and volunteer, maybe like make funnel cakes, or you could serve the drinks and the soda pops, and maybe make the barbecue sandwiches. And I thought, you know, I'll do that. I want to volunteer. This sounds like a whole lot of fun. And to try and help and give back, you know, I went ahead and volunteered. So let's see here. What did my brother do? I'm trying to remember. I think my brother was like serving, I don't think he was serving drinks. I think he was like working the fryer. I think that's what he was doing, or the grill. So he was either doing the grill or the fryer. And my ex-husband was working as like the cleaner, so like a dishwasher. And I volunteered, and they put me doing the barbecue sandwiches. So really all you had to do was take an ice cream scoop, or it looked like an ice cream scoop, and you're supposed to scoop up the shredded meat and then put it on a bun, and then put the other bun on top, and then put it in a little tray, like in a little container, like to go, and then you pass it to the next person, and the next person puts in whatever they want, like French fries or onion rings or whatever. So that's all my job was to put a scoop of shredded pulled pork or beef. Every time I would put a scoop on, you're not putting on enough. You need to put on more. And I'm like, I thought I put on more. And they're like, no, you need to put on more. And I'm like, do like this. And they showed me again. So I was like, okay. So then I put on one, and I put on another one and send it out. No, Deborah, you're putting on too much. Now there's too much on their sandwich. They can't even pick it up and it'll be falling out. And I'm like, oh my God. So then I tried again to not put as much as I did the first, the last time, overfilling it or trying to put on less. And I try to get it in between and you're not putting on enough. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was doing this so wrong. Like I could not get it right. And then they said, fine, you're working too slow. They said, go over to the soda area. So guess what my job was on the soda area? It was to scoop out the ice and put the ice in the cups and send the cup down so that way somebody could fill it up for whoever needed whatever. I was the ice girl, okay? You couldn't think you messed that one up. I totally messed it up. I could not get through the cups fast enough. They were coming and they were like, more ice in this cup, more ice. And I'm over there going so fast. I look like I Love Lucy whenever she was in the chocolate factory. And I'm like, you're piling up. I had 10 cups. And I'm like, I am backed up behind. Oh my dear Lord. Yeah, they ended up saying that I needed to, they really enjoyed my help and I did, and they knew that I tried really hard, but they got it from here. And I'm like, oh. So I basically was almost, should I say, I probably was fired for volunteering. Yeah, I was not that good. I was too slow. So just a funny story. I tried my hardest though. I swear I was like trying so hard. I was like helping. I was like asking for help. Help, help, help. Let me go ahead and dry this off real quick. I know I can chat a lot. So let's go ahead and get this dried real quick. So yeah, that was pretty funny. I mean, I was trying to help. I just learned that I'm not very good at certain things because I don't work very fast. So I have definitely stuck to doing stuff that is a lot more calmer for me. Just relaxing, more calmer, and you don't have to worry about anything. That would be me painting. And I enjoy it so much. And I used to always do a lot of drawing growing up. My mom was always the painter and she did amazing artwork painting and I was over there drawing. So I was big on the charcoals, loved charcoal drawings, loved to draw with pencil. Tried out the charcoal in high school and really loved it. I did like this half Eskimo face and half wolf. And because they were supposed to merge like two things together, and I made the Eskimo with all his wrinkles in his face and did the Eskimo hat, and then I had this wolf kind of coming through on the other side. It was so cool. I kept that painting or that drawing for the longest time, and I don't know where it went. I think somewhere and moving and transitioning it got lost, and it's kind of sad because I really like that one to show off, especially for my daughter or my kids. They would have loved to see it, seeing some of my artwork back whenever I was like in high school. I did get discouraged a long time ago. I got discouraged from my artwork because I used to always draw like back whenever I was young, like first grade, kindergarten. I love to draw. And I remember all my friends used to tell me, wow, look at you. You could draw so good. And I was like so happy, because my mom always did paintings and I was like thinking, yeah, I think this is what I want to do. Maybe I'll want to do this whenever I get older. And then I think it was like first or second grade. Maybe it was like second, maybe it was third. I can't remember. I can't remember what grade, but there was this one girl And she came in, she was new, and I was so happy with, you know, me being good at drawing and being like kind of like an artist in class. And all of a sudden this girl came in. She was super super nice. I really do like her, and I still like her. Like I still know her. I'm still friends with her. So I really do like her. But she could draw really really good too. And I got really discouraged because I seen her drawings and thought, "Oh my god, she draws really really good." And then everybody's like, "Wow, look at your drawings," and stuff like that, and went toward like being amazed on how good, you know, she could draw. That literally, instead of me thinking, "Okay, I need to keep going and try and get better," I just kind of stopped for a little while. Like, I always thought in my head I was never good enough, nor would I ever be good enough, because I saw what she could do. And I'm like, I can't do the type of drawing that she's doing. Like, I used to get so discouraged. And then as I got older, you know, I kept on drawing and drawing. And somebody, I think it was actually with my drawing, I would mention her. She used to be my old boss, and she told me, "Wow, you know, you're a little artist, aren't you?" And I was like, "Well, I used to draw quite a bit whenever I was younger and everything, and I always drew, just never really showed it to anybody." And that's whenever I was like, "You know what? Maybe I should start showing it. Start doing it and showing how I do it." And that's how it started. I was like, "Okay, maybe I'm going to start taking this professionally." You know, I didn't really think about it. Did I sell some of my paintings before? You know, so it wasn't necessarily on a canvas, but it sure was in some of the things that I painted on in my household that got sold. I made all kinds of things sell, you know, selling some things that I painted. It just wasn't on a canvas. But yeah, then that's when I decided to go ahead and pursue it as, you know, as a professional and teaching. All right, so we're pulling some of that down. That color down looks really, really pretty. I'm probably going to have to let this dry, so we're going to have to dry it again. And the reason why I do that is because if I keep going over it, even though I'm adding more paint to it, it's still going to be light. It's really not going to be adding any more on unless I go really, really thick and cakey on there with too much paint. But if I let it dry and then go over it with another layer, I'll be able to cover up some of this area that looks a little bit translucent. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to blow dry it real quick and be right back. Now, as you notice with here on your reference photo, it may look a little bit like there's a yellow tint to that. I know the other ones don't have that yellowish tint. I'm actually going to leave the yellowish tint out of it. I don't want to put that in there. So we are just not going to use a yellowy tint. We're just going to use a lighter pink. I mean, we could go with the and do exactly like the reference photo and add it. But that's the one thing about doing artwork, is that you can kind of change things around. It does look like the stem is kind of coming in there on this edge, because you can see just a slight bit of green kind of coming in. But it is so minute that I really don't think you don't really have to add that in there. It is so close. Unless you're doing something that's somebody requested that they wanted exact to the reference photo. Okay, I get it. But if you're not, then you can kind of have some fun with it and you don't have to worry too much. I kind of put some of this mid-tone pink back in. Okay. Put some of this darker. Pink in. Looks pretty good. Let's just let that dry and let's go on. It looks so much like that looks white on my computer. It could be just like you said, could be just my computer doing that, but it almost looks white and it's not. It's definitely pink. Let me add the green next to it. Let's go ahead and jump on over to a leaf because I can see it's already halfway time, and I definitely want to show you guys how to put a leaf in. And then since you've seen how I did this little lily, at least you got an idea of how to do the little lily by using, so far I've just had to use the deep cadmium red hue. I had to use the rose pink and then the white, and that's really all I use to create the lily and just go back and forth with it. But for the leaf, and it's going to be a consistent kind of thing. You're basically going to use the same colors for all of this. You just may have to darken. If you've got a leaf that's butted up against another leaf, you can already see that. See that shadow in between my hand and that finger there? That's what you're going to have to do. Like on one leaf, it's going to be a little bit of dark shade compared to the one above. So that's how you kind of separate those leaves out. I don't think I'll get any, it doesn't really matter if I get any red in it or not. We're just going to go ahead and take our green, take a little bit of white, mix that in. We'll see how it looks. If we need to add a little bit of red to it, we can do that. Kind of take that down a notch. May need to, yeah, I need more red. We got the cadmium deep red, but we said we were going to use the Nathaniel Crimson. So let me go ahead and squirt that out. I added a little bit of white to my green there, but as you can see, it came out a little bit too bright. I'm going to add some red to it. We're going to tone that down because that is just too limey green for me. That looks better. Let's see how it looks whenever I add in this green in here. If I need to add white or not, you will be able to tell. So here we'll go up. I'm going to go in and around this leaf, but I don't have to make it perfect. Is there a background showing through that, or is that another leaf? Let me look. That is just the curl of the leaf. And see, I'm getting a little bit of dry brush there. Just give it a mist. And go all the way down. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. If you need to add any darks or lights to it, we can definitely do that. I just want to do it afterward. And it's coming out really nicely with the green, that I really don't think we need to add white underneath of it. I may need a bigger brush though. It's like, here, let's just go ahead and try painting this on with like a round brush, a small round brush. Might take forever. So yeah, let me go ahead and get a bigger brush. It's like, here, let me use this stick. You'd be like, oh my goodness. Use a bigger brush, girl. Where's my big, I had a filbert. Where'd it go? I had a bigger filbert that I used. I don't really want the fluffy ones. Ooh, I make that noise. My puppy dog's gonna burst in the room thinking I have a snack. And I don't. Huh. Oh, here it is. Oh, here's one. It's a little bit bigger, isn't it? Oh yeah. Let's keep those somewhere. Go ahead and wet my brush. It's a little bit bigger. I mean, humongous or anything. It's just a little bit bigger. I may need to mix up some more paint. Let's get some more of our permanent green here. Or Hooker's green hue permanent. Let's add some of the white. Too bright, add the red. Dull it down. And who cares if it is not exactly the same color that you just mixed up? As long as it's close, it's fine. It's actually better that it doesn't look exactly like the color that you just mixed up, because you definitely want some different shades of green. Just try and get as close as I can to the edge of that little lily there. And take it on across. You're thinking, oh my gosh, there's a transition between the two. You can always just kind of accidentally hit that edge just a little bit there. Let's go ahead and get it down below. All right, so we got one. Whoa. Everything's all good. Accident prone me is still okay. I'm surprised I didn't get green anywhere. All right, so let's go ahead and blow dry this real quick so we can add another layer of green to our leaf. You know what? I'm going to leave the option with you guys on this lily here. If you guys want to see me finish this and we just work on it next week also and just continue on with this lily, let me know in the comments if you're wanting me to do like a part 2 on this. If you guys would rather us move on and do a different painting next week instead, just let me know. Let me know what you guys think, because I can finish this and show you guys maybe what it looks like whenever I got done with it, or we can do a part 2 on this. And that way, if you guys are working along and you want to just kind of finish it up together, and if any of you are painting along with me, we can do that. I have absolutely no problem with doing that. So just let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I don't hear anything, because sometimes no one really leaves me comments too much on what they would prefer. And I know that they probably just don't mind either way, but I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear, you know, your input too on what you guys think, what you want, either to move on or to finish this one up. We're going to have to go a little bit darker in this, by the way. So I'm going to take a little bit of Payne's Gray. I'm going to take it and I'm going to mix it in here. There we go. Oh. Now this area looks like right in there is a little bit darker. I'm going to take a little bit of my Payne's Gray. Here, put that in. Got a whole lot more Payne's Gray than the green. And we're just making this a little bit more of a loose feeling. I really want to see, I thought I had a darker green. Deep, oh, green deep permanent. Let's do that. Ooh, that one's pretty. Okay, so deep green permanent, we're actually going to use a little bit of that. Maybe mix a little bit of red in there, kind of get that tone a little bit down. Ooh, that makes it nice and dark. I wonder how that one looks. A little bit bluish tone, but very pretty. So yeah, you can just throw your kind of some of your tones in here and just kind of go with it. I like to add multiple colors to my paintings and just kind of have some fun. If you want to toss some greens in here, we could do that too. I don't know if that may end up being too green. we have a white edge around the outside lining of this. So I'm going to take my round brush, just a small round brush, and I'm going to take some of my green. Looks like I need to add more white. Looks like I'm running out of white. It's pretty. Thank you so much, Barbara. It is definitely a lot of fun to work with, by the way. It's like super fun. And we're just gonna take and add a little bit of a line. And yeah, it may be a little bit thicker, but that's okay because I'm actually gonna take a white and make an extra light highlight. Or we can just add white to our, there. There really isn't much on this back side as being a highlight. Oh, trying to find white. I mean, all I have to do is squirt out more white, but I really didn't want to and try to waste my white. We'll just see how much we need. We do have some lighter greens. So I'm going to take some of this white and green mixture. See how light I can go. I'm going to go into this one. I don't know if this is going to be light enough or not. We're going to try it. There's like these little lines. And they're lighter. And I'm just using just a light hand just to kind of make some little lines kind of going through there, kind of like the little lines of the leaf. If it ends up drying and being way too dark, then I may end up, or just kind of like hidden, we may end up coming back through with a little bit more white in there, just to kind of make it a little lighter. How does that look up at the top? Looks pretty good, like that. The other side looks to have some lines too, so I can't leave it out. And just remember, you just build up layers with this. You just keep going and going until it looks good. You don't have to worry too much with these. These are like more, Liquitex Basics is more like a translucent kind of color. Like you have to, definitely you have to put on more layers. But that's a good thing because if you use paints that are more heavier or heavy body, that are a lot thicker, then you could end up not putting enough layers on. So definitely having these paints to where it's making you layer up definitely helps. That was a big glob of white, by the way. I definitely wanted it lighter, but I may have went just a tad bit too light. We'll just see. No, that's pretty good. Kind of soften that out a little bit toward the bottom, but I'm really liking that leaf. If you're wanting to make this darker in this area, you just go back over to your Payne's gray and green mixture here. And we probably got that dry enough where we can probably add another coat. Actually, it doesn't look dark enough, to be honest with you. So let me just go with strictly just Payne's gray. It may still not, it looks like it's still a little bit wet. It'll be fine. Let me give that stem a little bit of a makeover here. I want to mix a little bit of white in. Just kind of create a little bit lighter. Let's see if I can do this without not having to dry it. Go a little bit lighter. Okay, and let's soften that out just a little bit. So in order to soften out and kind of blend things, you would just need a filbert. I always say these right here, it's kind of like a fluff. I call them fluffy filberts because they're not like these filberts. Like this here is like flat, see? And this one here I call fluffy. Fluffy filbert, not fluffy filbert. And I'll just take it, kind of dampen it just a little bit and dry it off. Just so it's a little lightly damp. And I just want to go in here and just kind of soften it out. If I get into that leaf, I don't care. There, on one side. That way we got a transition that looks like that and it makes it look more realistic. You got a shadow on one side and it looks great. Now I kept that being straight. I did not blend that corner right here. See how it's like that? I didn't blend that out. I blended this area right here, the dark and the light right in this area. And that gives it more of a 3D kind of look in the leaf. Now I could do the same thing up here, just a little bit. It's got a little bit of like little bitty one. So we still got 5 minutes. So it'd be a good thing to kind of show you guys anyway. It's a light, it's not too dark. Let me add a little bit of water. Did I just put my brush in that? Oh, I am so clumsy. Yep. Here, Deborah, the clumsy artist. Okay, so we got a line. Let me get it a little bit darker, like I said. Yeah, that'll work. Clean off my brush. Let's go a little bit lighter, and we're going to do light on one end. Oops, let's try and take it straight down. That looks pretty good. May need to go a tad bit lighter so you can really see it. On this side, there we go. And we're going to make this other end, just let's see if I can add a little bit more Payne's gray to the other side. That'll probably work. I don't know. We'll see. Take my fluffy filbert that's a little bit damp still. I made a nice thick line. I don't really care for that dark edge right there though. I'm going to kind of soften that out just a tad. I'm leaving that line though. I wanted dark, but I guess it's going to be stubborn and say, no, you have to dry me first before you can add another layer. Oh, yes, it's being mean to me. Oh, it'll add, it's being mean to me for some reason. It's like, yes, you can add a highlight. No, you may not put anything else darker down. So I'm gonna basically add a little bit of black to my green. It's probably still not gonna work. It's both be like, no. Well, it wasn't being very nice to me, so. That'll work. I may have to go back and dry it. So let me go ahead and dry this because it's being, I did get that smoothed out, but this purple is kind of showing through. It's like not really wanting to stick too much, and that's just because it's too wet. So I'm going to go ahead and dry it and then add another layer. It should be able to stick just fine. So instead of fighting with it, I'll just go ahead and pick up my dryer. We'll show you how it's done here whenever you dry it. The difference is crazy. All right, I know we're about a minute in, but I definitely have to get this done just to kind of show you guys my stubborn painting that was like telling me no. You can't add any more layers. There. My last piece right there, I just went over my highlight. Good job, Deborah. There. Ta-da! Let me try and make this a little bit not as dark. But I have to be careful because if you go too damp, it will wipe away. There we go. Let that dry. So anyways, that is basically it though. I mean, on the green, just go back and forth with it. Add your greens in there, mix them up. If you can't get it dark enough and you're wanting to go darker, just go ahead and pick up that black and just mix in a little bit of black in there. I know some people are just like, no, don't do that. Don't do the black. Go to blue, go to red, go to a different color. But sometimes if you've already done those colors and you want to go a little bit darker, I do throw in a little bit of black when needed. Here I'm just adding a little touches of white, kind of dotting them through here, just to add a little bit more of a highlight to my leaf. in that little area. So yeah, pretty much that leaf is done. I don't even think you can see the bottom of it. Let me roll this down just a tad. Oh gosh, I was working off camera. There we go. Let me Shirley. All right, well, just let me know if you guys want me to do a part 2 on this as a live stream next week. Please leave your comment below. And if you're not and you're wanting to go on, but let's just say you are sitting at home and you're watching this and you're like, oh my goodness, I wanted to see this finish. I've been working on it. Don't worry about it. I say don't fear, because I will still help you guys out. So what I'll do is, if everybody doesn't answer and we go ahead and do a part 2, we don't do a part 2, I'll go ahead and paint this, I'll record it, and I'll go ahead and put it as a free to all members on my Patreon. So all you would have to do is go over to my Patreon to sign up as a free member. You do not have to pay, and you can have this. So you guys can go there and watch it'll just be a voiceover, and it'll be slightly sped up, but not too much, to where you can still see everything, probably a lot better than on this thing, but you'll be able to see everything a little bit closer, and that way we can have the best of both worlds. So just let me know what you think in the comments. Barbara, aw, thank you so much for being here. It was so much fun. I'm so glad you made it. And yes, I will be getting you out your monthly little surprise gift. I have been thinking really hard on this one, on what I'm going to do for you. I just was a week behind. So I will be getting that out to you shortly. So anyways, everybody have a great night, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye, you guys.